Okay, this is the Rule of Thirds worksheet or the Gathering Resources worksheet. Now, I have two forms of it. One is an MLA and one is an APA. We'll use that one later. This one's an APA. So in the worksheet, the first thing you do is you decide what your theory is. This should have been the last sentence of your introductory paragraph. And it's basically what you believe and the three reasons in one sentence. Here is an example, and you cannot use this one in your essay. It is mine. The Sodder children were kidnapped because, that's the format. What you believe, the Sodder children were kidnapped because, and then three reasons. Witnesses saw them after the fire. There were suspicious occurrences that spoke of sabotage during the night of the fire, and the mafia could have been involved. Those are my three reasons. So then I go down to the first reason. Remember, the first reason were because of the witnesses. So the first quotation, I go to one of the resources and find has to support that first point, the witnesses. Remember, the second one were the suspicious occurrences. We'll go down to the second reason. Suspicious occurrences. And the last one was the mafia. Now, the reason those three reasons should be put on this is because those next three paragraphs in your essay have to be in the order that you listed the three reasons up here in this thesis. Okay? That's why this is so important. It becomes like a table of contents for your essay. It tells the professor when he reads the thesis, oh, these are the next three paragraphs that are coming up. They are evidence for what you believe. So when you go down to the first quotation, the witnesses, if you'll notice here, you go to your resource, you copy it, and you paste it into the worksheet. Put quotation marks around it, you can see. Then you have your citation. Now, if you forget, if you go up here, this is what your citation should look like. Author, last name, and the paragraph number in the parentheses. Or if there's no author, article title, in quotation marks, paragraph number, in parentheses. That's your reminder. So down here, this one here, it has the last name of the author and the location, the paragraph number. So the quotation is, witnesses said they saw a vehicle with children in the back who looked like the Sodder children. Now the rule of thirds is, however many sentences is in your quote, there has to be the same number of sentences in your explanation and the same number of sentences in your interpretation or your connection to your theory. So if you copy and paste a big old whopping long quote, you're going to have huge amounts of other stuff to write. They have to be an even amount. So there's one sentence in this one. So the 5 W's. Now, you may not be able to hit all 5 W's, but if you can hit most of them in this explanation, it really works out well. So the 5 W's are who, what, where, when, and why. So who, Grupp, that's one of them. Grupp was investigating. Who? What? He was investigating. Let's see, he was investigating also the mystery. What? When he was investigating after the fire. You can add that included in there. After the fire. What? When? Where? In their town. You can include their town for the where. And why? Because witnesses saw the children after they were supposedly dead. Okay. Oh, who saw them in a vehicle? The vehicle can be where. It just helps you get more information in your explanation is what it does. You may not hit all 5 W's, but you should hit 3. And you should strive to hit 5. So Grupp was investigating the Sodder children mystery and was noting that there were witnesses after the children were supposedly dead. Now, Grupp is the author in the article, okay? So I'm just referring to who wrote the quote that I took from the article. The children were supposedly dead. Who saw them in a vehicle? Grupp saw them. The witnesses saw them in a vehicle, and there was more than one witness. So The connection to the theory, you go back up to your theory. My theory was about the witnesses. Witnesses saw them after the fire. That means they weren't dead in the fire. So I have to connect it to my theory. This supports the theory that the Sodder children were alive after the fire because if they had burned, no one would have seen them. It's a very simple connection to the theory. Now, when you put all of this together, let me do this. Take all this off. Oh, I took witnesses off and I shouldn't have. Witnesses. So when you take all this off, you can copy and paste this into your essay when you're finished. So be expansive and elaborate. And you would have a sentence to introduce the quotation. In one article, witnesses were noted to have seen the children. Then use the quote. Witnesses said they saw a vehicle with children in the back who looked like the Sodder children. Then your citation. The next sentence would be, Grupp, the author of the article, was investigating the Sodder children mystery and was noting that there were witnesses after the children were supposedly dead who saw them in a vehicle. There was more than one witness. Then the next sentence is, this supports the theory that the Sodder children were alive after the fire because if they had burned, no one would have seen them. Now, that's a good third of a paragraph. Your paragraphs, remember, only have to be 10 sentences. So for each reason, which is the 3 reasons up here, you have 3 reasons in your thesis, and that comes from the last sentence in your first paragraph. If you did not include that last sentence in your first paragraph, you need to go back and add it. So you have reason 1, and you have reason 2, and then you'll have reason 3. That's in your thesis. And when you get finished, you will have at least this much 3 times, because you have at least 3 quotations that you're going to look for. The second reason, you'll have 3 quotations. The third reason, you'll have 3 quotations. Now, one thing to be aware of is you are going to have 5 resources on that works cited page. So you're going to have 5 different resources. So you have quotations you're going to take from those resources. You need to spread those out. Don't take them all from one article or all from 2 articles. If you have 9 quotations here you're going to try to find, you should have 1 from each of the 5 articles, and then you can have 2 or 3 from the others. But you don't use just 1 or 2 articles for your information. When you're finished, the articles that you used, you will copy and paste your works cited page here with only the articles that you used up here in these quotations. And this allows me to check them and make sure they're correct. I know that it won't space correctly on here, but it should have the information in the correct order that is on your works cited page. And here is a checklist for each one of the 3 reasons up here. Each of the 3 quotes are in quotation marks. A citation is at the end of each one of them. And if there's no author, use the article title like this. It gives you another example of MLA citations at the end of the sentences. So when you get finished, let's do this so we can see what I'm talking about. When you get finished, you will have a thesis, and this is your thesis, and you will have 3 reasons in it. Those 3 reasons, 1 reason, 2 reasons, and the mafia was the 3rd. Those 3 reasons are to be put here. 1, first reason, second reason, third reason. Then you're going to go to the articles, and you're going to copy and paste a quotation. Just like this example, quotation 1. Find your own quotation for your reason. Then explain the 5 W's about the quote. Now, the 5 W's you're going to write in complete sentences, not just list the information. Use sentences so you can copy and paste those sentences into your essay later, and you won't have to make them into sentences. They'll already be that way. So you will do an explanation for your quote. You will connect to your theory, and then move on to find another quote that substantiates your theory. This is evidence in your essay. Okay, when you're all finished, Save this worksheet in the Word program as a DOC or DOCX file, not as a PDF. Do not do it as a PDF. And once you save it, submit it in week 8. Now, this will take a little bit of time, so you need to start early.